Support for the Living Wisdom podcast is provided by In Touch Pharmaceuticals, a long-term care pharmacy committed to meeting the specialized pharmaceutical needs of their clients. Visit intouchpharma.com. Hey, thanks so much for joining us for our Living Wisdom podcast. I'm Karsten alongside Deb Carriveau. We're talking how-tos, quick, easy things that are going to help you in your life. And we're talking a lot about what do we do when our loved one hits that point where they stop eating or drinking. What are your thoughts?
So part of what's occurring when that happens with a loved one on the dementia journey is that when the brain is being impacted by the disease process, they don't necessarily recognize anymore the physical signs that your body gives you. So when your tummy rumbles and you go, oh, I'm hungry, their brain no longer recognizes that. In addition to that, they're unable to oftentimes understand that there's a certain routine, a certain thing I need to do to continue to fuel my body, continue to hydrate my body. And in addition to that, their tastes and the way the brain interprets how the flavor of things are starts to change. Oftentimes also people with Alzheimer's in particular, that type of dementia, lose a sense of smell. And so that in itself will impact the way food tastes and whether or not it's attractive to me. So a couple things that we kind of educate people about. One thing is most of us think about people being hydrated through strictly liquids and drinking water and those kinds of things. And oftentimes for people with a dementia process, that just doesn't feel good or right, or it takes up a lot of space and then I feel really full really quickly. So we talk to people about doing things like popsicles or Jell-O, or making a frozen slushie out of something like Gatorade or Pedialyte. The other thing that is attractive about that for people with dementia is there are two basic tastes that they will retain usually till very late in the disease process. One is the sense and taste of sweet, and the other one is salty. And so lots of times using supplements that will help sweeten things will be more likely to get consumed by people with dementia than things that typically we think of, just being the way they are. There's a great product that I'd like to share, and that is a product called Super Syrup. And that supplement is designed with a very high protein, high calorie, high fat content, specifically for people who have limited intake. So it's something that's very sweet, tastes just like pancake syrup, and you can add it to hot cereal, you can add it to tea, you can add it to just about anything. And lots of times that in itself is enough to entice a person to want to consume it because they can retain that taste longer. The other thing is that sometimes people with dementia will experience a paranoia that comes with somebody's poisoning my food. I don't know where this came from. I don't trust that this is safe, particularly if it's a homemade item. So lots of times if a loved one has a favorite, let's say fast food place like McDonald's, a lot of times what we will share with family caregivers is to go to that location and explain the situation, and we have had lots of cooperation where they will give you empty wrappers, they will give you empty sandwich boxes, cups, things that are designated as McDonald's, and you can put your food in those and then give them to your loved one. And lots of times that takes away that paranoia because, I remember McDonald's is my favorite place, they're a restaurant, it's safe. And lots of times that will get them to eat.
Wow. Is this normally kind of the time in the journey where a lot of people seek outside assistance if they've been watching them at home?
Yes, absolutely. And particularly oftentimes because as the disease progresses, people start to lose their appetite. They start to eat differently. And lots of times what we tell people is don't worry about what they're eating as much as that they are eating, that they are consuming. And so, I've had people tell me very late in the disease process, all mom will eat is her desserts. And that's okay at that point in time. The other thing is look into things like Boost, Ensure, those kinds of supplements that are really packed full of calories and protein, have a very sweet taste. And we can also take those and make them into milkshakes and things like that make them even more enticing to get calories and protein into people.
Yeah, makes sense. For more information, where should people go?
So I would just encourage people to go to our website, reach out. All our contact information is on there. We will be happy to share lots of printed resources we have, things online that we can share to just help people get through it. It is a very common challenge that comes with the dementia process. So we're here to help.
Support for the Living Wisdom podcast is provided by In Touch Pharmaceuticals, a long-term care pharmacy committed to meeting the specialized pharmaceutical needs of their clients. Visit intouchpharma.com.